Now, Zach, I kind of want to start with you because I know a lot has been made about obviously the physical side of the role, but what was the biggest challenge for you in terms of, I don't know, like getting into the headspace of Kevin Von Erich? Because wrestlers are so unique where they almost don't have a parallel in everyday life.
Yeah, I think that's one of the fascinating things about wrestling. Sean talks about this really well, but it's it's the sport really hasn't been examined because it's so intricate. There's so many different facets to it. There's there's the real person, but then there's also their character, and then there's also the persona and the physicality that they take on in the ring, and um, so yeah, there's a lot. I think the preparation for this helps a lot, and becoming Kevin physically, it really, I was able to kind of wear that throughout the filming process, and that helped tremendously.
And Sean, like I guess like rightly or wrongly, like people come in with preconceptions or misconceptions about wrestling. So I wanted, like, on your opinion, what were some of the biggest busted myths or things that surprised you most while making this film?
Um, yeah, I really wanted to, you know, touch on this thing of wrestling being fake. It's it's something. It's funny as a fan, I get quite touchy about because, it's like, well, the movies are fake. And so I just really wanted to get into the complexities of being a performer and how you move up in wrestling based on being a performer and audiences and audience engagement and things like that. And so, yeah, that side of it was really, really important to me to explore.
And Zach, in terms of like the research, the training, I know you had like real wrestlers on board. You had Chavo Guerrero, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Did you get any good advice from them? Did you, I don't know, like go back and watch old NWA matches? What was the sort of plan there?
Yeah, we watched a lot of old footage of the Von Erichs. We all would get together and watch it and put it on, especially prior to some of the larger sequences that we were reenacting. Maxwell had a lot of great insight too. It's fun to have a real wrestler there because he added some not street cred, but some validation to the fact that what we were doing was hard, going through it in single takes like that. I think he even got gassed during part of it, which was made me feel a lot better.
I mean, you mentioned like the one takes, and Sean, in terms of like filming the wrestling, like I think I was right in saying you had like a small live crowd there. So like,
Yeah.
what was the thinking behind that in terms of, I guess, how that changed or enhanced the actor's performance?
Yeah, it made a big difference. They were not just a great crowd, they were a really lively crowd. You know,
Mhm.
and I wasn't expecting it. The first day we started working, it was like electric, and the guys just could feed off it in the ring. It just gives that little bit of extra adrenaline that just pushes you through the match, and it really made a difference.
And Zach, for you as well, like, I don't know, how long were these sort of matches as they went along? Like, it must have been pretty like strenuous, I guess, for you.
Yeah, they were. We would, I mean, the wrestling matches we would shoot, start to finish. They would range. Some of the earlier matches were, we started out 15 minutes long, and we were doing those, anywhere from one to, we would probably do, five to seven wides, same for mediums, and then similar for close-ups and some specials. So a lot of those matches turned into like 20 match days, and so they were quite grueling, but also I really fun. It felt authentic. It felt real. I love that process. It was really fun.
Now, I know like neither of you obviously do this for awards recognition, but there has been talk about, Oscar snubs and things like that. So like, I guess, Sean, Zach, like, what would you say to those who are disappointed that you maybe weren't part of the Oscar nominations, and sort of how does it feel to be part of that conversation anyway, regardless?
Yeah, I mean, it's not why you do it, but it is disappointing when you have such a great performance like this. And but look, it's the film has been out in the States for a month, and it's just done so well, and audiences are just responding to it, and the box office has been great. So that's what it's about. It's about connecting with people, and it's doing that.
That's the real takeaway, man. It's like the people that are responding to it, just incredibly grateful for that, and proud of it, proud of the achievement.
And sure as well, like in terms of the story, like in terms of, I don't know, deciding what parts to admit, what parts to focus on. Like when it comes to telling a true story like that, how do you decide? Because I know there's Chris Von Erich who isn't a part of the movie, so I guess I'll come on about maybe the creative process behind that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things. There's Chris. There's There's David's daughter died when she was a year old. Doris lost her brother when he was only 24. Carrie has a wife and 2 kids. There's just so many things that were left out, and it was really hard. I was looking at everything as a story, and it was just this massive story that you just chip away at over the years of writing, of just like try to fit everything, and it doesn't fit. And I didn't want it to be some, huge biopic where you're just like trying to touch on everything you can. Just wanted it to be more about the emotion and about Kevin's survival. So I had to make tough choices to focus on making it about that.
And I think I've got time for one more question. Zach, I kind of want to just ask you, who took to wrestling quickest out of you, the actors? Like, you can say yourself if you want, but I'm curious to know who sort of was the natural there in the ring.
Oh man, that's a great question. You know what? I think probably in different ways, all of us had a strength. Harris was really, really good about crowd work. That's one of the things I noticed he took to immediately and talked about a lot with Chavo. I was focused really on Kevin's physicality more and the commitment to the moves and just getting through the stunt work. Jeremy's like he's just a fireball in there, man. He's a tornado. It was really fun to watch him, because like it's crazy in real life. It's like we're not huge guys, but Jeremy looks like 10 feet tall when he's in the ring, and I think that says a lot about the way he moves. And seeing Stanley as well, like he only had a very short timeline to learn some pretty complicated moves. He was doing standing drop kicks, like jumping drop kicks, like over and over and over and over again during the scenes, and he just nailed it. So, I don't know who took to the strongest, man. I think everyone kind of just sent it and crushed it, and I'm really proud of everybody.
I'm all out of time, guys, thank you so much for your time. So I really appreciate that. I love the film, and best of luck with the UK release February 9th. Thank you so much.